starving.
What else are you doing?
What else? You're the color guard, and very colorful. Get over here. Greetings, salutations, and welcome. We are here, among many other things, to officially dedicate and fornicate our temporary crossway between our two realms, known henceforth for the next 3 days as Checkpoint Furry. To use a simple tool to handle this, we will be using one of the semi-official drinks of science fiction fandom of a non-alcoholic nature, that being Dr. Pepper.
The other two would be Jolt and Mountain Dew.
That is quite correct. And of course, we unfortunately do not have the official drink of science fiction fandom of an alcoholic nature, that being Tullamore Dew. But we will make do as best we can. So, this is my color card. And with this dedication, we welcome you back to the Atrium Marquee. Domine Deus, Domine Deus, Domine Deus, Domine Pizza delivers. Nope. And with this, we welcome you newly to the Radisson Plaza. Domine Deus, Dominus Deus. My father plays dominoes better than your father. And with this, the official alcoholic drink of furry fandom, that being Fat Weasel Ale.
Not Virgin Vixen beer?
We welcome you to ConFURence 7. You didn't see that. See what?
You think you're going to stick me for that fatigue detail? Forget it.
Thank you all very much, very kindly. We hope you enjoy our unusual setup, and we hope you enjoy our unusual con. If you have in the past, you will now. Thank you.
When I decided I really needed to work out the background of this world I was building. I tend to build things by accretion over the period of writing a book, and it's like all the historical details. I tend to keep notes on them and try and invent things that are not inconsistent with what I did before. And then during the rewrite, I end up like mashing it all together, writing a coherent background for it. And it's like about halfway into this, I realized this is so damn complex. I gotta figure it out now. So I started writing history and writing. It's like I started working back and back and back and back and back. And it's like I realized when I was working back, it's like I was the other time I was coming in from the other direction. I realized, wait a minute, this works. And that was just a big piece of serendipity because I happened to be working on two things at the same time. I was finishing up Spectres when I was writing this to send in as a proposal for a new thing, and it's like it just because I was working at those two things at the same time, I saw how they could fit together. And by the time you get to the end of this series, you're going to see that there's a lot that a lot of the stuff in the first trilogy ended up having some profound effects on this. I mean, not necessarily in a furry sense, but the way other things are going there. And there's not inconsiderable furry involvement, even though it's all Terran and mostly offspring. There's a two-chapter like assault on an embassy, a revolutionary that involves a squad of furry characters. I'll say.
So you are a fan of Elliot's?
To a certain extent. I mean, he sort of, I sort of lost him after he went off into space. I mean, it was just, it's like when he was dealing with more or less contemporary concerns, I was with him up until I went around the continent or sorry, Freudian
you use even more, shall we say, hardware in your books than he does, and he's head of the Libertarian Gun Caucus.
I have this libertarian viewpoint, but I think it's probably a bit more skewed and a hell of a lot less utopian than anybody else writing anything that could be classically called libertarian. You're not going to hear this called libertarian simply because I'm realistic about things.
Two things you have to keep in the S. Swann book. Two things you have to keep a checklist of in your head: guns and cars.
There's a reason that of all the cars and all the names. That is because I read the Lee Kilgo novel a long time ago that had this near future and had all these cars in it, and it's like the cars. They were not realistically named cars. I mean, you looked at it and it's like they were all like every single car that you mentioned was named after some sort of bird. And not a bird that I don't remember them offhand. It's just like I remember that one scene, and it's like it stuck in my head for so long that I decided, okay, if I ever write something near future, it's like the damn things are going to sound like they were named by a car company.
Or a coattail. Like a dealer.
Yeah.
But this is something that
This is what Gibson does too very well, with his use of existing brand names and very well-made brand names. You really get much more dealer realism. I mean, Brown Spiders and Nissan cars. It works very well.
One of the things I liked in there was the Ford Corolla. You can almost picture this car. And it's named after a little South American road. Yes.
Now, one of the things that gets people get curious about in furrydom is just why we find ourselves sort of a bastard child of SF fandom. You would think offhand that, okay, you've got critters who are been changed by science to be somewhat resembling humans and animals, to be about, as much of a science fiction concept as, okay, this is a plastic man I put together with circuitry inside. But yet, it surprises people when something like this comes out that is taken seriously. Usually it's like when someone does something furry, it's kind of presumed to be humorously intended. I mean, if you saw a murder mystery like Who Killed Roger Rabbit, you knew it was a murder mystery, but yet you weren't really expecting Dashiell Hammett. I've got to ask your perspective on this, and the reason being, if nothing else, I read a review. There was some twit in Locus who was reviewing Profiteer. Yeah, he specifically said, I got the exact words, he said, I was a little curious about this new guy, S. Swann. I will admit I avoided the last book that I saw of his because it had a pink bunny on the cover. Quote, unquote. Which means, if nothing else, the guy needs new glasses because she's not pink. She's tan. Yes. So, what's your perspective on why this is not a science fiction angle that is taken on more often?
I don't know. I mean, it's there are there's some genres and there's subgenres, and some are more popular than others. And up until like about 2 or 3 years ago, it's like an alternate history, real alternate history now was kind of rare. And it's like all of a sudden, boom! It's like their alternate histories coming out of everyone's ears. It's like everybody's writing it, and it's like Interstellar Empire. It's like through a bit of a crowd. And this is just yet another theme. And like all themes, there's going to be periods of popularity and periods of non-popularity. And I think right now it's more or less on. It seems to be on the upside. At least I certainly noticed a lot more of this stuff around since I realized Furry family existed.
Well, we certainly want to try. Aliens. But speaking of cool Anderson, one has to note that it surprises a lot of furries if you mention that. Because a lot of people I know haven't read it. Because his reputation is not as a science fiction author who uses furries a lot, nor is it a science fiction author who does political stories a lot, which I know him as. Heavily. He was a very, very...
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's like, it's one of the things I read like a lot in high school. Probably shows through.
But most people know him if they mention Paul Anderson in like a scientific study of science fiction fandom. They mention him as a hard SF author, in that example. So it's almost like you have these other aspects out there, but it's almost like people will push them, you know, yes, I write hard science fiction, yes, I write political things.
I was like, so I was gonna say, it's like, one of the reasons why it's like, you know, for example, this, you know, taking it seriously is two things. One, people automatically think Disney. I mean, basically, it's like furry fandom, you know, equals kitty books. I mean, it's just,
As I said.
Oh, by the way, just in case you're wondering exactly where I'm coming from politically, it's like when somebody mentions Disney, my first impression is not a political enemy, it's a very nice. I first think of corporate fascism. Evil empire. As a matter of fact, if you know the magazine Pulp House, I have a story in there, which is not based on anything Disney ever did. It's not based on the Disney Corporation. Any resemblance to Disney Corporation, completely coincidental in the story. It's called The Mouse is Watching. Holster. And it's coming out, theoretically it was coming out either winter or spring, and now it's spring or summer. It's like if you can get a hold of the Pulp House, it's like, as I understand it, Mouse is Watching. It's a short story, but I think everyone in this room would appreciate it.
Congratulations, we're looking at the next Salman Rushdie.
Any resemblance to the Disney Corporation or any of its business practices is completely coincidental.
sure, so I'm perfect glad to be in cheap level, this is it.
Yes. Won't hear me say that.
That's a good man. Well, two is sort of like the, well, why not call the Plunket fringe of the fandom? It's like these two things.
Infrared fringe.
Yeah.
That's the way I saw it too when I first started getting interested. I saw, okay, there's Trekkies, it's sort of occupied the center mass. Then you have the hard science fiction and the it goes out to the reds and so on. Then way out there in the infrared, way out there at the end, there's a furry dog.
That's immediately afterwards by Filk fandom. I can't go as a member, so.
I know about a subgroup of furry fandom, where it's like, managed to basically give like a lot more, serious furry fans a really nasty game.
I have another theory, just which I'll mention real quick, which there's the fringe fandom is always a problem with any fandom. I mean, let's face it, there are people who committed crimes in Japan and say they based it on watching cartoons. I'm sure that the anime fandom just really loves them. But I think people go through this period when they're about 14, 15 that I call the "aw gee, that's kid stuff" period, where quite literally everything they loved as kids, they all of a sudden don't want to have anything to do with anymore. It's like, oh, that's silly. Some people never seem to grow out of this. Most of us tend to grow up into kind of a romantic period where all of a sudden everything that you loved as a kid is hot marketing. But some people just seem like they go, kid stuff, they don't want to deal with it anymore. It's like, it's unsophisticated. As a friend of mine loves to say, look up the word sophisticated in the dictionary, it's not as nice as you think it is. But did you get that? What's reaction have you gotten from some, I don't know if you are the sophomore party type person or not, what kind of reactions have you been getting from other authors saying?
Well, I mean, it's not like that. I mean,
for one thing, you come out with 5 books awful damn fast for somebody new in the genre.
My fellow authors tend to comment on that long before they get to my content. And the fact that
But you're not missionarizing. We don't see this with S Swann on it once a week.
No. I think Dave Duncan still has to be the Dave Duncan churns them out like the analysts.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Insert 50 cents, I'll come to you.
when it comes right down to it, it's like I think one of the things that fandom in general does, and probably all the subsets of fandom does, is you tend to become a lot, when you're in the group, you tend to be a lot really self-conscious about your own fandom and how other people perceive you when other people may not be even seeing you. I mean, it's like most of my fellow authors, it's like I had to tell them exactly what ConFURence was and who exactly. I mean, they had no idea this existed, so it's like they're not coming at my novels with any preconceptions about where it came from. I have yet to run into anybody who actually has.
I will admit, embarrassingly, it's astonishing to me the number. I look through a friend's copy of the Sappho Directory, and I'm like, I don't know 80% of these people, and I consider myself pretty well read.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of sociopaths.
Are you working on planning on working on more short stories, or are you just keeping it honest?
Well, novels pay. I rarely, I don't do short stories unless something really hurts me. I even more rarely than that sell them, because I really can't stand the whole. I really dislike the whole submission stuff. That's my definition.
Yeah, it's not your job anymore.
Yeah. And the cafe doing this, $120 for a story, I guess I gotta cover a postage.
I'm gonna feel like a matchmaker here, but then I'm a convention artist, this is kind of my job. But I think a lot of people in the room would probably love to see a comic book adaptation of the fourth book, particularly by somebody in the room.
I actually mentioned, I did him once, but he said that Daw has the rights to Forest, so he can't really control whether his comic book adapted or not.
Well, I said I have to look at I still have to look at my contract to see exactly what kind of adaptation rights I have. I think I would probably have to write an entirely new script and do that. But once I do that, the question is like, it gets complex.
Well, this artist would be willing to do it, so,
Reading your books, especially Forrest tonight, first time through it, I thought, he's designing this to be a movie.
It is one of those cinematic things.
Yes. You can see it. Yeah, I mean, it reads. Well, I have some pictures in my head anyway when reading through it, it's like watching a movie.
It's kind of weird because I tended to play down visual description a hell of a lot simply because in deference to Laura's eyesight.
No. That's one thing. A lot of scenes are still very, very visual in my mind.
Well, I seem to be a very visual author. People tell me that. It's like I guess it's because I really have like a very, very firm idea in my mind of exactly what's going on.
The fact that smell throughout all three of the books is a very important plot point. At several points, that's a lot of great versatility. A lot of people miss.
Yeah.
They might mention it, but the fact that whether the way somebody smells at a particular moment providing a final clue to change the plot is not something one sees very often.
Yeah, like in Forest, Angel and No Hearts smell Tyranny's perfume.
Yeah.
Or Angel noticing, lemons downstairs. I love that.
Then when she goes back downstairs, it is lemon. We're in trouble.
I really like that. I just like the idea of these sort of pseudo-fed types. It's like, covering their tracks by spraying lemon scented disinfectant after they get out search a room.
As though, okay, let's spray something. This is something the Moreaus aren't going to notice. We'll put red rum on the wall. And an ancient line sitting down watching Warner Brothers cartoons.
It's a memorable image.
Very good.
Yes.
Very sympathetic character, too.
Zimbabwe or South Africa?
South Africa.
Who does have hyenas?
I don't know. No, there are no hyenas in the book, so I didn't have to think of that.
Egypt, probably. Yeah, Egypt was there.
Uganda, one of the Central
Middle
America.
East.
Whatever it is, it's like Africa is unified, has half the population, so it's like.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you about one scene though that got admittedly a little bit confusing to me. Towards the where Manny bought it precisely, along with all these other guys, I was trying to generate in my head an image of the assassin's name. Hassan. Yeah, Hassan leaping into this room and slaughtering like 20 people one at a time, which is the only way that you can slaughter somebody by tearing their throat out, one at a time. And nobody gets a shot off? He's good! There you have it, okay.
He's a part of Cheetah. There we go. No, I didn't have a problem with that because if someone just walked through that room and started spraying the room with gunfire, it would take about 3 or 5 minutes to even react. It's so unheard of.
Yes, I know, but if someone was to come into that room and start stabbing people one at a time, I presume that by the time they got about to this row, the first
It's like with that guy in the back row by the open door. It's like, just suddenly just sort of got pulled outside and his throat slit very quickly.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Okay, yeah, the old 10 little Indians bit is like, Charlie? Hey, Bill, Charlie's disappeared. No.
You can get some idea of what I was thinking of. If you've ever seen the movie The Professional, the same director who did with them, the the real version. I can't remember what it was.
He's a French guy.
Yeah, but that's the kind of beautiful document about it, with considerably more physical prowess.
I guess another background question would be, I can see, if I understand it right, all these countries have these different critters, but not necessarily all these countries made different critters. Some sort of farmed out the
it's just picture it. I based it on the yarns industry nowadays. I mean, it's like the same thing, only dealing with genetics. So
I would feel very strange going to a Morrow buying convention in Belgium.
I don't think it would work quite that way. I mean, you'd be dealing more along the lines of like little video presentations on software and straight with all the little military people in the hotel room somewhere. This guy with a tie and the pointer, it's
like that, Belgium. And here you see multiple adrenal glands eating Morrow and can't strain. Let's go to dinner.
But yeah, that's.
So all the my point is not necessarily all these countries. I mean, I can't imagine very many facilities in Peru having the snazzy biological.
Going on to your point, it's not unheard of. Think of the silicon industry. They are putting together semiconductors in Malaysia. I mean, or in Thailand. I mean, you pull your way down this stinking canal past these houses that are hundreds of years old, and here in a plant making 64 megabyte DRAMs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's unheard of. Like 25 years ago, if you had high-tech industry, you did it in California or you did it in New Jersey, but now they're doing this stuff we haven't heard of in places where you can't get a toilet to flush, but you're doing 0.3 micron semiconductor.
Oh, don't forget Washington State.
Yeah.
Breakfast of champions. Both ears and the tail, Jim. Both ears and the tail. That's it.
It's going for the trophy. Tom Cruise.
He's cut his hit. All the samurai pinata.
Can't you get arrested for that in Sweden?
It's the Great Blue Hunter! How do you know me? Hey, Jim, you killed it, you eat it.
Poison in my head. Stop! Ooh!
He's got a word of skin.
I get the head. There it is. You must have the head. Bounce it on your wall. Here you go. I will. I have head. I must have the head. I get the head. All right. I get the head.
Body bag. Body bag. Carry out bag. Carry out the wood.
Does anyone have any last words?
Dump the body. Dump the body.
Dump the body.
Hold it up.
Okay, now then you got Smurf crap all over yourself. Tell me how much that brushed off.
Yeah, but it's not over yet.
Now what?
Go ahead and shake it out.
Yeah.
Watch. Smurf cuts.
No, this is perfect. It looks like Mr. Bill going, oh no. Look at the face. Here. Oh no!
Got it on Jimmy!
No,
I did!
It's Bill Smurf.
Put it on. Oh.
Can you see? No. That's one for the blackmail. So next we have Michael Payne.
This is a song about one of the hazards that can come from watching too many nature shows on public television.
Oh dear. Hi, I'm Marty Stauffer. It's called Peru.
Viral fish and bacterial frogs at all contagious forms of life are blinding me, are binding me like a chip gouging deep at the edge of my shield. And all I want, all I need to get me through this darkest night are things like soap, like blankets and rope, things of man, not nature, humanity's yield. For Peru is full of insects and animals. Insects and animals I see on TV, and they're scratching and digging until I can't stand, till I'm under the bed with my fists in my ears. But what must be the 70th time this night? Cause they're gonna squeeze close, they're gonna push through. Their teeth and their claws and their wings and their eyes are all grasping and gaping at me. Are all grasping and gaping at me. I always check my boots for spiders. Scorpions are sneaky too. My water is lugged in a plastic jug and delivered each week by a man in a truck. But air is breathed by other things, you know. Things not human, things not me. And what'll I do when they try to push through, try to latch on my brain, try to gnaw, try to suck? For Peru is full of insects and animals. Insects and animals all heading north, and their thundering hooves, and their thin droning wings, and their paws soft and padded and soundless and near, make me scream when I hear them, but worse when I don't. They're gonna squeeze close, they're gonna push through, their bristles and hair and their clawed little feet are all digging and probing at me, are all digging and probing at me. Oh, how can I hope to think this through when the TV says that human beings are animals too? A Peruvian beast I could distance at least, keep away, keep at bay. I was here, they were there, but now it turns out we're all the same. No, I won't believe it. I'll just turn up. I'll give a laugh and walk away. I'll nod my head and I'll climb into bed and ignore what the voice in the darkness is whispering. And Peru was full of insects and animals. Insects and animals now gone astray. They're here in my house, in my room, in my bed, and fill my nose with their damping, their lighting ears with their buzz, and they're seeping still further down into my skin. And they've squeezed in so close, pushed their way straight on through, that I'm sure when I wake I'll have paws in their snout, and the beast will have turned into me, and the beast will have turned into me. For Peru is full, and the air is full, and the world is full, and my blood is full of insects and animals. Okay, you're much better now.
I know what you're doing, so why don't we have 2 minutes?
Oh, okay. This is my first, I guess.
I'm sure he doesn't either, but I had to pick who to be mean to.
I doubt I can get this. I doubt I can get through this without making some sort of mistake.
Go ahead and try.
I guess this is actually a Filk of a Filk.
That's not uncommon.
This is a Filk of Tom Lehrer, who is Filking Gilbert and Sullivan.
Okay.
You've all heard the Elements song.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, this is my version. the furry book song.
Okay.
Okay. There's wildlife and Captain Jack Mythagoras and Catmandu and Salmon Max and Vixen Scape Sophisticats and Xanadu and Cerebus and Neil the Horse and Midnight Sands of Cats and Zoo and Ralph Brizzle and Fur Version, Hay Eaters and Huzzah and Q, Mad Raccoons and Nervous Rex, Captain Carrot Fusion, Gold Digger and Delgada, Morphs and Steam Victorian, Critters are Tall Tales and Furloose Beauty of the Beast and Bone, Albedo and Furlough and Usagi Yojimbo. There's Titans and Furtherance, Fish and Chicken, Televisions, Red Shetland and Takeoff, Genus and Refactions. Type 1 Project Ever-Changing, Palace Millarks, Books from Zolna, Rudapurt, the Prince of Bear, and Champion of Catara. There's Omaha the Cat Dancer, Bunny Tails and Morphica, and Empires and Fuzzy Nips and Shanda the Panda, Brussels Vixens, Carnus Classics, Footbot Flats, and Firkindred, Tales from the Anniverse and Space Wolf and Intercepted, Buster the Amazing Bear, Fritzing Poppins Fanzine, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Yarp and Anthropomorphine, Bestiary, Rocket Raccoon, Ink Spots and Menagerie, and Gallery, and F&C, and Booty and the Dreamery. There's Wild Kingdom and Beatrix Farmer and the Highwayman, and Cutie Bunny, Folktales, and Centaurs, Get the Harem. American and Journal of Anthropomorphics, Free for Whole, Buffalo Winks, Critters, and the update from the Dallas Brawl. These are some of the many works that could be classed as furry. It would take months to read them all unless you try to hurry.
Our next creature here is known as Feck. He's available to you for only 1 hour. And as he put it, nothing corruptible. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I don't know if either he means he doesn't want to be caught, oh, I don't know, giving oral sex to a fish. Or he just doesn't want to be addicted to, oh, say, that evil, unholy thing created by Satan. Just kidding. Magic the Gathering. I'm not sure what his definition of corruptible is, but I'm sure you can all know what mine is. The bidding opens at $2. Let's hear it, folks. We have 2. 10. We have $10 in the back. Do we have 12? The next bid is a minimum of 12, $2 increments. Come on. If nothing else, I'm sure you can find something humorous and silly for us to do, you know. $20. 25. And notice he does come with his own leather leash. I'm not sure exactly what, as you know, we don't know what he means by corruptible, but he does have his own leash, so that there's definitely certain things he doesn't consider corruptible. $25 is the current going rate. And remember, it is all for charity. The money will be going to the family of the dead friends. 25 once. $25 twice. Oh, come on, you know you want. Any more? $25 for 1 hour. He's yours. Applaud. Pick up your pet, please. Okay, we'd like to introduce our first cat for the evening. First cat I remember. Her name is Stormy. She's a little bit nervous right now, which is why we'll have something else to help in a second. But the rules are, was it 2 hours? 1 hour? 1 hour. Nothing illegal, nothing sexual. Well, nothing sexual. But being as she is a little bit nervous, we thought we couldn't be too cruel to her and put her up on a pet auction when she was scared, so we gave her a friend. Demon Kitty, please step up. Some of you may recognize Demon Kitty. She is my own cat. And, well, they go together. You're bidding on the both of them. I'm sorry, folks. The opening bid is a minimum of 20. We're not letting these 2 cats go. Oh, shit. We have an opening bid from the rather unfurry gentleman on the side for $100. As I said, no schmag. You get the 2 cats. Mine does come with her own leash. They both like to make entertaining sounds and tie up their owner. They both have tails. And they are definitely cats, as I'm sure you can well tell. Should I even ask if anybody's going to top 100? But I know the answer is probably yes, somebody will. Come on, it's my cat and another, and hey, they're cute. Let's hear the next bid after 100. This is not fun. Come on. 100 is still the highest bid. Yeah, we know this is good. Come on, you get 2 cats for an hour. It'll be the cattiest evening ever. Well, it actually looks like I may not get another bid after 100. Going for the opening bid. Well, hey, it's not that low of a bid to go for. $100 going once. $100 going twice. I believe you just bought yourself a couple of cats. Congratulations, the man on the side, the highest bid of the evening so far. 2 cats for $100. Okay.
On Furry Muck, Fortunia, and that's it. And I'm also on Tiger Muck. It's Tab. Steve Plunket is my real life name. I'm from Peoria, Illinois. Real name. Wow, where's Peoria? You don't want to know. No. It's kind of Peoria is like the cesspool of the Midwest, is how I like to refer to it. It's not fun. Not a fun place.
How do you do what you do to me? I'm feeling blue. Wish I knew how you do it to me, but I haven't a clue. You give me a feeling in my heart, like an arrow passing through it. Suppose that you think you're very smart, but won't you tell me how do you do it?
So they come out and...
With your kind indulgence, I would like to present our last year's host for the cabaret, our this year's host for the cabaret, and our this year's host for the costume SIG, Pony Swartz. I just don't know what to say.
Thank God. Thank God. Okay. Might as well get this thing going so that we can get back to the cabaret rehearsal. I can sit around here and feel like I'm not doing anything. My cataracts are kicking in. Okay. Okay, as you all probably know, and if you don't know, you are the judges. This is going to be like America's Funniest Home Videos. Except Bob Saget is not here. Can I hear a hallelujah? No one here for yet another year. Good stuff. Okay, first up, we've got Furla. Now, Furla, music. Yeah, this theme, it has this Waka Chicka thing going in the background all the time. Please, let me just get on with this. Okay, Furla, designed by Sean Keller, made by Sean Keller, worn by Furla, with his, it was last year's second place, get out here. It was, you have, okay, fine, all right, I'll back off. He was last year's second place winner of the costume contest. This really big wolf with his favorite plushie, Cody. Next up, we have costume number 1. Furla was costume 0, for those of you who don't know. It's kind of like the cabaret, what is this thing called? ConFURence, the ConFURence numbering sequence where we start with 0. Anyway, all right, costume number 1. Where did he go? All right, Bat. May 1939. Music. It's a dramatic pause. May 1939. When the animals of Gotham City have no one else to turn to, he is there. He descended from the sky. Right, go ahead. Meeting out swift justice to evildoers. They call him the Cleopatra Crusader. He is Bat. Costume Bat was designed by Ron Orr, made by Ron and Ann Orr, worn by Ron Orr. Pretty much that. Rodney, can you take this tape, please? Next up, upon attending CF7, Samantha Campbell discovers that the panel she wanted to see was regularly held at the other hotel. This is costume number 2. The costume name is, of course, Samantha Kemble. It's based on a Ken sample character. Costume was designed by Robert King, made by Robert King and B.J. Stalin, and worn by Robert King. Costume number 3 is Equinox. Man, it is getting stuffy in here. Costume was designed by Jeff Davis, made by Jeff Davis and Scott Warren, and worn by Chris Davis. All right. Title number 4, or the costume number 4. It's an untitled vixen. I mean, she's not married yet, I guess. For those of us who don't have access to $300 an hour costume designers, or 5 paper machine heads, costumes were made by Ginger's mom and worn by Ginger.
Jack, you spend a bit more time on stage?
No. This gives them more of the limelight rather than me. I'll have all the time I need at the cabaret. Ask them to spend more time on stage. Stay on stage for you. Happy? Okay. Costume number 5 is, I'm not sure I can read it. That's what it looked like, I just wasn't sure. I hate mispronouncing people's names. It is Jason, captain of the Argo. Costume is designed by Smudge, made by Smudge and Wonder Boy, and worn by Smudge. Okay, costume number 6, entitled The Cowboy. Made by and it's made by also Stacy Saloon with the help of Luaja and what? Me? Oh yeah, the whip. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Worn by. Shut up. Okay, man. Yeah, go ahead. Feel free. All right, costume number 7. Costume name is Griffin. Designed by Laura Pearson, made by Laura Pearson, and worn by Laura Pearson. The same one. Work the runway, darling. You know. I didn't bring that. Next up, costume number 8, Mr. Jack Salem. Costume is designed by Peter Storr and Rob Gibson. Radisson, made by Peter Stoller and worn by Peter Stoller.
Everybody stay right where you are.
Uh-oh.
Give me a line. I'm a super sponsor.
Okay. Now, the, that's capital E period, capital H period, capital E period, the Fox. Number 9 is a comic strip which appears in the Furries forum on ConFURence. Designed by Joe Case, made by Stagecraft Incorporated, worn by Joe Case. Give me just a second to pre-read this. Next up, costume number 10. The world's most pathetic pantomime act is Woodruff. Available for parties, socials, and bar mitzvahs and circumcisions. That's your key to get back from the show. Or take it now. Doesn't want me having his key. Designed by Jimmy Chin, made by Jimmy Chin, and worn by Jimmy Chin. Costume number 11. Gilmore the Lion, mascot for hire. Oh God, that was good. Love this place.
Got your watch?
Why? Designed by Radisson. Made by Radisson. Costume number 12. Okay. A dinosaur crashed on Furry Mark, fighting against the dreaded Tyrannosaurus Rex. Stego. That one was designed by Stego. Actually, it's Ray Colazzo and made and worn by Ray Colazzo as well. Okay. Next up, lucky number 13. What? Do you think people thought I was the universal icon of evil or something? If you ever doubt that, just feel free to stand over here and I'll get to you in a second. Okay. Next up, number 13. I will assume this is Clea. Clea. Of course, you just said Clea, right? Clea. Clea. The after art was done by Sue Van Camp, made by Dennis Maude, Ron and Ann Orr, and Terry Stanislaw. Oh, it was worn by Dennis Maude, by the way, just in case you were wondering, couldn't see through it or something. Next up, costume number 14. This is Shadow Spawn. Mine are sharper than yours, and they're also natural. Come on.
Walk around the pole.
He does that often. That was designed by Wookiee and Shadow Spawn, made by Wookiee and Shadow Spawn, and worn by Wookiee and... No. It was worn by Shadow Spawn. Costume number 15. This name should sound familiar, seeing as you just said it, and no, it's not Shadow Spawn. This is Wookiee. Posy, give me those blinders there, would you?
The cabaret does take costume decks.
Designed by Wookiee and Shadow Spawn, made by Wookiee and Shadow Spawn, and worn by who? Wookiee! God, you're catching up so fast. God, I love these people. Getting some light. Number 16. He's a comlink repair specialist, so if any of you are having any problems, now talk to him. Flint hoof ponytail. 40 pounds, excuse me. Let's write that. No, it's the depleted uranium pellet in my pocket that's screwing it up. Designed by Dan Kane, made by Dan Kane, and worn by Within 6 weeks, thanks to ICS, you'll be able to come out here and do this job too. Don't ask me what ICS stands for. I don't know. I just picked. I heard it before. Actually, if the letter I stood for incontinent, can that go in your story that you told last time? You have to ask Kagi about that sometime. For those of you who missed Uncle Kagi's story hour, you missed a very unusual story. Okay. Costume number 17. Oh God, I knew I recognized that from somewhere. Costume number 17. Costume number 17 is Craig. I don't want to screw up the last name. He's walking away too fast. Anybody know who that was? Guesses? Come here. Yes, you. Come here. Come here. Fozzie? No. Okay, fine. Who was it? You pronounce it. All right, hang on. I got an idea. No, it's not you. All right. Well, this will be like a spelling bee. I'll tell you how it's spelled. You tell me how it's pronounced, because I think it's utterly offensive when I mispronounce people's names, so I won't do it. Muench. Pick one pronunciation and give it to him. All right. His first name is Matt. Okay, you talk amongst yourselves as I'm getting the next card put down. That's who made it, decided, Warren. There you go. Costume number 18. Onsila. Ansia, excuse me. I was just told that. That's right. And it's not old.
Those are complimentary, hey!
The embroidery thing? Designed by Lucy Adams. Can we get some water back here? Anybody has some water? One of the guys spontaneously combusted. Spent a little bit too much time on it. Anyway. Yeah, believe me. Thank God we got the fan going that way. Burning fur. Anyway, that was designed, made, and worn by Lucy Adams. Okay. Costume number 19. Some of you may have seen this wandering around. No, I did. Costume is the brown and white ratted medicine shield. Ooh. And here we have Henri. Designed by Terry Smith. One more, please.
Really? Yeah. I know.
right, that was, by the way, made by Farallon and worn by Farallon, the rabbit. I got distracted. Tell. Finally, costume number 20. Very small costume. Here to take over. Oh, wait, no, this requires a Shatner thing. No, sorry. We also managed to keep him away, so. Except for the MST thing. But, anyway. Here to take over the world is the Martian. Hervé Villachez. Designed by Vicky, made by Vicky, and worn by Vicky.
Seems that's it.
Mainly my skills are not quite up to the task yet on that. Probably the closest thing to an actual three-dimensional character that I've done, it's a small animation that's on the CD and isn't anywhere else yet. On video, it isn't on video or anything yet. But basically, it was just sort of a test of technique kind of animation for me, but it was a computer box with eyes, and it's basically hopping back and forth between two spotlights, and I was kind of surprised that it looked as effective as it did, because I had the thing here hopping and it stretched and it squashed as it hit the ground, and it worked a lot better than I expected it to. Because I thought I was going to do something and it would end up looking sort of like something that came out of 1980, something that came out of 1985 or whatever.
Silver balls.
Oh, but I parodied that a few times. Yeah.
It's all for the
Movie setter on most of them. 3D. I'm using Lightwave now, but prior to that, I've been using Imagine. I've been doing most of my 3D stuff. Occasionally, some work for animation, but mostly I've been doing for backdrops and props and things for pictures on the computer.
Eric, you have unlimited resources. Enough money to do anything you want, any hardware. Would you do movies or TV series?
If I had that?
Yeah. Hypothetically, if money wasn't a matter and you had all the hardware you could grab, what would you be doing?
Well, probably, it's one of those things, movies would be a fun thing to experiment with a little bit. I'd probably be doing like pretty much a full animated, the 6-7 minute shorts.
you're talking about TV series, though, huh?
Well, you put enough of those together, you know.
How would you be drop the Amiga then, or?
Well, I have no plans to do that anytime soon. It's one of those kind of things. I mean, if I given a job and whatnot for this, I have nothing against working with other platforms.
As long as you can.
Dream system, VR.
My dream system?
If somebody said they'll give you a system and the software, what would you want?
Like an Amiga that runs out of
Yeah, that's...
With what's out today. With what's out today.
Well, it would... You want me to say something else, but it would probably still be an Amiga. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm gathering up money now. The 4,000 towers in my sights. Get one of those boards like the personal animation recorder or VLab Motion. One of these hard disk non-linear video editing boards, so I can do more video-like stuff.
Would you, in that case, would you try using animated characters with video?
That's something I've thought about from time to time. It's one of those things that it's great when it works well, but it's one of those techniques I've never been really enamored with. Just because it's neat to look at, but it's one of those things I need to have a good application for it first. Although I have done, back there, I don't know how many people might have seen it because there were probably very few tapes in circulation, but a little program, cable access show I did back in 1991 called Animation, which was showed off some stuff I did, and just for a lark, we had like a bit where I was supposed to draw Amy the squirrel, and they zoom in on the screen and it showed me drawing at, and then I hit a key and that threw a series of very bad effects, and she hopped off the screen and onto the table in front of me and the host of the show. Basically, for the rest of the program, sat there looking bored. We had a high budget. Amy would sit there and her tail would go.
Okay. Quality Time, A Day at the Beach, and The Dating Game were entered in February '95, right?
Well, they've been they've been entered in different years.
Yeah. Was A Walk in the Park ever written?
Yeah, for the 1995 contest under video. And let's see, what the hell did it win? It won something.
It won something.
It was, well, 95 was kind of a fun year for me with that contest, just because, all modesty aside, but they didn't let me enter in the real-time animation category because I had won the previous 4 years.
How long did it take to do Walk in the Park?
That one, well, that was something I was working on mainly for a computer show in Dayton. I was shooting to get it done for this computer show in Dayton, and I was finishing the sound recording the day before. But basically, most of the animation and background work, I had a few assistants working with me on that one, mainly on doing backgrounds and coloring. Right. But that took about, roughly somewhere between a 40 and a 80-hour week, about 2 straight months. I've done, there haven't been a lot of other contests There was one weird contest, like, I don't know, it was around 91, 92 that I entered. It was put out by Amiga Center Scotland. And I entered stuff in that contest in hopes of winning something. And I got back this like press release. And it's like, well, it's like first place, somebody else, you know, this picture, somebody else, animation, somebody else. The Eric Schwartz Award, and it listed all the stuff I entered, and I'm like, what the hell is this? They gave me the honor of my own category.
In your characters, as far as you want to go, as far as the raciness, or do you like think that you do something much more provocative?
Well, in what? In prints or in animation?
Well, in animation.
13 to R. Well, once again, I have no immediate plans to do so. It's one of those things. I've always considered my animation to go to a bit more general audience. And I like to believe I can control myself from time to time.
You've mentioned that your CD-ROM now collection. What's the availability on that?
Basically, it's released through Amiga Library Services, also known as the Fred Fish people. Basically, it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's primarily for Amigas.
I'm sure you come across a lot of people who would like to do some experimenting with animation, but they're not as enlightened as you. Don't own an Amiga, don't know where to get one, or already have an incredible setup in a PC or a Mac. Do you know of any software that you would recommend to run on those platforms to kind of start messing around with it?
Well, the only thing that I've had any real experience with on another platform is like I mentioned it earlier, a very movie setter-like thing called Animation Works. It's available for Mac and Windows. And probably if we get... And there's also like a multimedia package called Astound or something, which I think Animation Works is part of. They like give you a CD-ROM and it's got a couple of my promotional animations I did. Got an animation of a worm getting eaten by a fish and stuff. Or if you would rather do a screensaver, you can get Screen Craze, and it's got clip art I did. Got little half-assed dinosaurs and fish going around. I mean, they had me do weird things for that. They had me draw flying donuts. Flying donuts and bugs and things and whatever. That was one of those things. That was one of those projects they gave me, and I was just seriously running out of ideas. There's no Amy the Squirrel in there. I sort of deliberately avoided that.
Sort of a trivia question. In the After Movies animations, what is the name of Amy's date?
That other, by the way, he's another squirrel. That guy, his name is Stan. My goal for the third at the movies is that people will get the jokes. That's been the hallmark of the not Mystery Science Theater, but the At the Movies series, is that I do these things and people are just watching the babes and they're not. And well, what did you think how the action on the screen mirrored the action in the seats? What?
I have to admit, it took me the second time of viewing At the Movies too before I realized the bow tie.
That's why on the videotape I had a little narration before that, and it says, the bow, just a reminder here, the bow tie is significant. Keep your eye on the tie.
What I'd like to do here is try to moderate things a little bit.
Too late.
As opposed to the meeting after the costume presentation, where it was just sort of a random peppering of questions to people, why don't we this time try to get to know the costumers a little more, so we have names to put to the creations, and also get into more in-depth discussions of techniques. I'll just mention right now, in the program book, this is listed as a costume construction panel. More specifically, this was requested by the members of the Fursuit mailing list. And I think the majority of the people here are with the mailing list, although certainly not everybody. Just a group of people that are connected to a common communication medium, and so we just exchange information. Where to buy fur, how to make heads, how to interact in costume. We've had discussions on how to deal with problem situations, and other odd things like how many times has Mickey Mouse been stabbed?
Really phonetic lawsuits.
Yeah, yeah. Try to cover all that stuff. Everything that's relevant.
So how do you sign on the mailing to the mailing list? What's the address?
If you send email to me, I'm the administrator. The address is rcking at mcs.com. And please be patient with me. I have a state machine set up to track new members, but I'm going to have several people to track.
At MCS?
mcs.com. We have an entry requirement that everybody should have constructed at least one costume or have equivalent costuming experience. It's just to essentially set up an environment where everybody has shown that they can do something as opposed to just talking about doing something. Let's see. I'm tempted to either jump to selected introductions from various big name costumers, or if anybody has an alternate suggestion, we'll go with that.
No, it's not a girl.
My name is Sean Keller, and I just do this for fun.
Okay. Great. You've done quite a few costumes, haven't you? Okay. Spotty cat?
Sounds like a letter. Say it like that.
I'm Ansi Adams, and this is my first costume. I've been working now for 6 weeks. I learned everything I know from Farallon, who's sitting here on the right. And I got into it because I got to be partial dressing dummy for his ASPCA dog costume. So it's the first time I ever got a chance to wear one was last summer, and I liked it a lot.
And I refused to make them.
So I had to make my own.
So much more rewarding.
Depends on how you look at it. It is now that it's done.
Alright. I'm Farallon. Sean introduced me to costuming 6 years ago. And so I've made 1 or 2 a year since then. Only one commission in the ASPCA dog, and got paid way too little for it. Probably never do another one as long as I live. As bad as it is to make your own, it's really hard to make them for someone else.
Here, here.
They're never happy. The money, your heart is not as into it. You know, it's not my business or anything else. It worked out to be like $8 an hour for 300 hours work. It's really, this is all evening stuff. I have my job.
Yeah.
So it's like no life for 2 months at all.
Mm-hmm.
I've yet to actually see it used anywhere. Ordered it.
It's even worse.
Kept it hidden.
Okay. Well, going to the next costume. Yes, you.
Most people would call me Cheetah. On the fursuit list for a while. This is my first little furry costume. Most of the rest have been boring, mundane things like clowns and such. Very smooth. I'd like to say, while I have the chance for those of you who have signed up for buttons, I will have them here. And I've decided that heads are a good thing. No matter how hard they are to do, it's not worth doing this.
Work outside in one of those, you get the most unbelievable sunburns.
Really?
Yes.
I expect grease paint to.
It's just with the black areas was the problem I had.
Oh.
To make myself I was alive. I walked around looking very strange for about 6 weeks after, especially when my face began peeling. So,
good enough.
I'm Frank. I've been on the list for a while, but sadly much more silent than I should be. I've yet to post the completion of this beast. Dave Kuhn taught me what little I've gleaned on how to do this, and he learned in turn from Sean. And this was motivated mostly because I really always wanted to do this. And I managed to con Dave into helping me out by a promise of possibly winning a contest at Virtual World. They had a costume contest Halloween. We were still hot gluing and sewing as we were supposed to be leaving to get there. We got there 5 minutes late.
Oh.
I have this.
Is that Ben back there?
Ben? Oh, I didn't see Ben.
Get in here, Ben.
Get in here.
Sit forward, lion.
Hello? I don't know if any of you know me. Some of you do. I'm Ben Camacho. Actually, from the script with me. What else do I need to say?
Have you got your legs on, Ben?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you guys have got to see his feet. This is amazing.
Pull the legs on the table.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh boy. They're actually, they're called air casts. And they extend from just below the knee to the tips of the toes. And what they do is they brace my leg and ankle, primarily my ankle, so that I can stand like that. Wow. And it gives me that jack-legged appearance, because I am jack-legged. So the claws are those soft candy eagle claws. They've been trimmed so that they fit better. Thank you very much. The face is actually molded urethane, done with a latex inner and outer skin. It's the cold set type, so you don't have to bake it or anything like that. It's the inside of the mask is done on my face casting. The outside was sculpted by Ed Klein. And once everything was pulled apart, we had the rubber master. I applied fur in small pieces to create the flowing pattern of the fur on the skin. The teeth are actually bobcat teeth. They're taxidermist teeth, and they've been cut down to fit the jaw. And the face is cast as one piece, but the mouth was cut open so that the elastic is open. Keeps it close to my jaw and allows jaw movement.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Attack.
That's why the hair of my.
Yeah. Tell us how you got to be the way you are.
Well, it took certain injections to reach what happened. Ah, okay. He's going to introduce himself. Surprise! Sorry. My name's Jimmy this almost a year and a half ago. I just recently relocated to the LA area.
I'm so sorry for you.
I wanted to do this sort of thing and tried out for college mascot about 10 years ago. Didn't get it, but okay, so the desire was there. So it was born.
Okay. Great.
Cool. My name's Brian Hagan, and this is my first actual headed costume. I did a couple bodysuits without heads before. And from March to October, I'm Astro Jetson at Paramount Straight America in Santa Clara, so anybody in that area who wants free Astro hugs, stop by. I'm going to introduce you to the characters, and they will sing you out for harassment for the rest of the day. Quite an experience.
My name is Mike Wallace, and this is my first suit, Robin Hood. So, have a great time.
All right.
Yes. It's only a simple. This is a latex face piece glued to the skin, and the rest is simply makeup.
Very nice makeup, gentlemen.
Yes.
Tail makeup.
There's a lot of makeup.
Yes.
And you've custom tailored your pants for the tail, haven't you?
Yeah.
That looks pretty nice.
Hey, it's the same. Oh, good idea. Simply suited to the jeans itself. And lips. Sort of how would a furry do it?
Okay. He had a small display on the various, on the sort of history of contact lenses, right through from the original sort of eyeglass type things, right up to the modern day, say gas permeable hard contact lenses. And stuck in the middle of it was a fairly thick, ugly looking contact called a haptic lens. And as he explained, when I asked him about it, it's actually quite a reasonably large bit of plastic when compared to my eye there, which when I put it in, actually pretty much masks out all of the white in my eye, which, as people who have seen me wandering around will tell you, is pretty unnerving. So I sort of asked him about those, and he said, oh yes, we still do make them. He explained that he was one of about 1,000 people in the world who could still make these things, but that he was getting out of practice, and so I asked him, would you like some practice? I want a pair. When he said that they use them for repairing damage done after, say, car accidents where the eye was perforated and the iris was torn or came loose and wasn't possible to be reattached. So I asked him if he'd do a pair of cat's eye ones and basically drew out the pattern for him. I'll actually pass this round now in a tissue.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Well, yes, they're fairly difficult to damage, just don't scratch them.
Okay.
Normally, they're about 700 Australian dollars worth, which is approximately 550 American dollars. But the optometrist did them in his spare time, and so I got them for about 300 American dollars. The basic process, traditionally, as it was traditionally practiced, was to actually make an alginate mold of the eye by putting a sort of funnel into the eye, under the eyelid, and then just injecting alginate into that, wait until it hardens, and pull it out, and cast an eyeball from that. He tried an experimental technique on me, which is take one that doesn't fit, take a contact lens that he knows does not fit, put it in, and then figure out where the bubbles occur underneath it. This was extraordinarily irritating to my eye. And the entire process took about, well, let's see. I originally approached him in January of 1995. They were finally finished around about the beginning of November 1995. So it took approximately 10 months of a visit once every 2 or 3 weeks to try on contact lenses that had been reshaped to be closer to the actual shape of my eye. what happens with those lenses is that they completely cover basically all of my iris, and to get air into the pocket behind it, what happens is there's a small hole that you'll notice in the actual pattern there, which allows air to pass into the fluid that they're actually suspended in. That's necessary so that they can be worn for more than about 20 minutes at a time. Those lenses, I'm currently up to about 4 hours wear time on them. After that, the vision goes extremely cloudy and I stop seeing anything. The lens was originally made and then it was hand painted, and that is then covered with a plastic to protect the eye.
Okay,
Yep.
but I've heard of scleral lenses, the huge ones that cover the whole eye, and how the people that wear them for movies like Michael Jackson's Thriller and such are tremendously uncomfortable with them. And this sounds like it accomplishes the same effect without being nearly so impacting.
They do irritate the eye. As I said, you can get used to them. I'm up to about 4 hours. Because they were originally designed for the corrective cosmetic type of lens, you can wear them once you're used to them pretty much all day, every day, for 30, 40 years.
Okay, a little preliminary here. We suggested many conferences ago, that maybe we could come up with some kind of board present to the board. We had no idea what we were going to do. We thought maybe we would like the best picture, best television show, best movie of the genre we like. We were thinking about getting something sleepless for the family. Furry Rocky Horror, basically. It sort of hit me. There's in the industries, entertainment industries, there are companies like the Disney companies which kind of understand where we're coming from. You know, Jim's come by, Mark Beckles, we have a lot of Disney people who come by, and it's really nice. We haven't had that much luck with Warner. Some people who are very talented and not being able to afford Warner as bands. And so we thought maybe the award should go for someone who's in the industry we all wish we could get into, but someone who likes us. Yes, positive furry. And it was extra special that we chose Jim for another reason, because of what the award is. So, Jim, you're the recipient, after 8 years of trying to decide what to do, of the very first annual Sydney. Oh my God! Why this is extra special is when we were communicating an email a long time ago on Tiger Videos, way before very much everything else. Jim had mentioned I sent him a bunch of material that he really liked Sydney a lot. So very appropriate. You're the one.
It was the first T-shirt I bought. Well, thank you.
We have this statue. I don't know.
Having never won an Emmy, you know. Better than Oscar. I like the Academy better. Yeah. I'll just put this in trivia. Thank you. I'm touched. Thank you. This is beautiful.
Thank you, Jim.
boy inside.
For the touch of your lips, dear, but much more for the touch of your whips, dear. You can raise welts like nobody else as we dance to the masochism tango. Let our love be a flame, not an ember. Say it's me that you want to dismember. Blacken my eye, set fire to my tie as we dance to the masochism tango. At your command, before you here I stand. My heart is in my hand. Ugh.
Silly string. You have Hanson's Unnatural Smurf Squeezing. Right here, look at this. All natural 100% vitamin A, C, and blue. All for you. The world is blue. 1995. Now 1-800-997-99999 for your own bottle of Smurf Squeezing.
Yes, we took them and had them squeezed.
Chug, 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 chug.
You put your hand on your chest too.
Yes, that's what the label says.
Unnatural Smurf reasons for the man in you.
They use this stuff in the QB syrup, you know, as an extender.
Oh yeah.
That's right. What is that? Smurf juice?
Smurf juice.
Cool.
Oh, I remember those candy we had before that looked like
Smurf juice. Somebody didn't shake the can.
Oh
Oh, you gotta pull it.
We're pulling, don't you dare.
Are you okay?
I think I'll see you again.
Wait a sec, hold on. Get your glasses back on.
Oh yeah, that's what everybody
He deserves this.
He's like, I'm getting tired.
Baptized!
Release your breath.
Here's Harry! It's now officially been time. You love this. I turned on a goddamn few times. You need to spray it in lacquer and put it on a wood hose that say ConFURence. Yes. Anybody got any spray left?
Jen's got to teach me to leave my table.
How much? You got any spray left?
Jen, come in.
I'm never the dean of this. I love you. I love you a lot. I just. You make me feel real good, baby.